Welcome to the Market Rent Weekly Brief, your go-to source for the latest insights and updates in the real estate market. Each week, we'll bring you the most important news and trends to help you stay informed and make smart decisions. Let's dive into this week's episode.
Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're going to be diving into, all the buzz surrounding Detroit's comeback story.
Yeah.
Now, I know you've probably heard snippets here and there about, Detroit's revitalization, but we're going to try to go a little deeper than those headlines today and really get into like the forces that are actually shaping this urban transformation,
Right.
and what it could actually mean for you, the listener. So
Yeah, it's really fascinating to see while, a lot of cities are dealing with all these post-pandemic challenges, particularly all those empty office towers.
Yeah.
You know that Detroit's kind of taken a different approach. They're turning what some might see as a liability, into an opportunity, actually.
Interesting. So what is it like? What is it about Detroit that makes it like stand out in this way?
Well, Detroit's got this strategic three-pronged approach, really, to its revival. So first of all, they're not just trying to like fill those empty offices,
right?
They're reimagining the whole urban core.
Okay.
So think like vibrant mixed-use spaces. You got entertainment,
Okay.
dining, retail, and even strategically placed like innovation hubs,
Yeah.
to really draw in talent and investment.
Yeah. So it sounds like they're really fostering this environment where people would want to live, work, and play, all within like a very close radius.
Exactly. Yeah, and that actually leads right into the second part of their strategy, which is leveraging Detroit's, really unique public spaces and natural assets.
Okay.
I'm talking the beautiful Detroit riverfront.
Yeah.
It's been completely transformed into this dynamic waterfront destination. And, and it's not just about these big, large-scale projects. They're also taking, vacant lots and making them into vibrant community spaces.
Okay.
Like the Monroe Street Midway,
I'd say
which is like this bustling community hub.
turning spaces that were once neglected into assets for the community. I love that idea.
Exactly.
So what is the third pillar of this comeback strategy?
Yeah, so the third pillar is really about fostering inclusive economic growth.
Okay.
So this means supporting minority entrepreneurship,
Right.
making sure there's equitable housing access,
Yeah.
and developing a skilled workforce for the future.
Right. So it's not just about, like putting up shiny new buildings.
Right.
It's about like building this sustainable and, an equitable future for everyone in the community.
Exactly. And a prime example of this strategy, like really in action, is Midtown Detroit.
Midtown. Yeah. Midtown seems like the place to be in Detroit right now. So what's driving Midtown's success?
Yeah. Well, Midtown really embodies Detroit's revival strategy, in this really tangible way. Like it's been so thoughtfully designed for urban integration and mobility.
Yeah.
It's incredibly walkable and it has this perfect mix of like residential, commercial, and recreational spaces.
Yeah, that sounds very appealing, especially for like a younger demographic.
Yeah, absolutely. It attracts a diverse young population, because it offers this really great blend of like academic and professional opportunities.
Right.
And with institutions like Wayne State University and the Detroit Institute of Arts, it's drawing in people from all over.
It's a real cultural hub, you might say.
Absolutely. And to top it off, Detroit has been really smart about using like tax incentives and development initiatives to encourage what they call adaptive reuse,
Right.
And Midtown is a prime example of that concept in action.
Now, we keep hearing this term adaptive reuse.
Yeah.
It seems to be a recurring theme, when we're talking about Detroit's revitalization. So can you maybe just explain what exactly that means and why Detroit is kind of uniquely positioned to really capitalize on this idea?
Yeah, so adaptive reuse is essentially like finding new purposes for old buildings. It's breathing new life into them instead of just tearing them down.
Right.
And for Detroit, it's really largely about turning former offices into homes, hotels, or mixed-use spaces.
Right.
And the thing is, Detroit has this abundance of pre-war office buildings. And these have smaller floor plates and lots of windows, unlike those modern glass towers,
Yeah.
which are a lot harder to adapt.
Ah, so those older buildings are actually an advantage in this case.
Exactly. Plus, the city government is actually like actively encouraging these conversions
Okay.
with tax credits and grants. So it's kind of a win-win.
Wow. Okay, so let's break this down further.
Sure.
What are some like really standout examples of adaptive reuse in Detroit?
Well, there are a bunch of like really cool projects, but one that's really striking is the Conville.
Okay.
It's this stunning Art Deco masterpiece.
Wow.
That was once an auto empire's headquarters.
Oh. Okay. And it's been, beautifully transformed into these really modern residential units.
Wow.
But while preserving all this historical charm.
Yeah. I can see why that would be so appealing, kind of
Yeah.
bringing the past and the present together.
Exactly.
What else? What other examples are there?
Well, then you have the Buck Tower,
Oh,
which is this 38-story skyscraper
Wow.
that was once neglected, but is now this vibrant mixed-use development.
wow.
With residential units, retail spaces, and even a hotel.
So it's not just about creating like apartments. They're creating like entire ecosystems within these revitalized buildings.
Exactly.
Speaking of ecosystems, how is Detroit kind of adapting to the post-pandemic world, particularly when it comes to office space?
Well, the rise of remote work has definitely, changed the game for sure.
Right.
And interestingly, even though apartment construction in Detroit has actually tapered off.
Yeah. To its lowest level in a decade, the demand for apartments is still incredibly strong.
So that's surprising. So even though they're building fewer units, they're still filling them up quickly.
Exactly. In fact, there's been a net absorption of 4,500 units in the past year.
Wow.
And vacancy rates are projected to actually decrease even further in 2025.
So that's a really strong indicator of continued growth then.
Yeah, for sure. And this momentum is evident in other projects on the horizon too.
Okay.
Like the Harvard Center Square redevelopment,
Okay.
which is this planned mixed-use project that really shows, Detroit's commitment to repurposing this aging infrastructure.
Now, while all of this sounds incredibly promising, I think it's also important to look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
What challenges is Detroit facing in maintaining this positive trajectory?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. No comeback story is without its hurdles. And one of the biggest challenges for Detroit is balancing this wave of luxury development, with the very real need for affordable housing.
Right. So it's that classic gentrification concern, right?
Exactly.
Making sure that all the benefits of the revitalization are actually reaching all segments of the community.
Exactly. And additionally, continued investment in infrastructure is absolutely crucial.
Right.
Detroit really needs to make sure that, all residents, regardless of their income or their neighborhood, are benefiting from this resurgence.
So it's not just about attracting the investment. It's about making sure that investment is directed in a way that creates a more equitable city for everyone.
Exactly. Now, shifting gears a little bit to another important factor that could really impact Detroit's trajectory.
Okay.
Let's talk about the new Trump administration,
Yeah.
and its potential impact on the city's future.
Yeah, I mean that's an important discussion to have, and we've got some really valuable insights here from economists and real estate professionals.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Federal Reserve is currently holding interest rates steady.
Okay.
But they're definitely watching very closely for any new policies that come out of the administration.
Yep.
There are some concerns about Trump's call for lower interest rates.
Right.
Because some experts believe that this could backfire
Okay.
and could fuel the perception that the Fed is actually losing control over inflation.
Yeah, that would definitely create a lot of uncertainty in the market.
Exactly. And this uncertainty, extends to mortgage rates as well,
Right.
which are likely to fluctuate based on inflation and employment data.
Mm-hmm.
And additionally, the new administration's policies could also impact capitalization rates,
Right.
which would make it, difficult to really predict investment returns.
So there's a lot of wait and see happening in the real estate world right now.
Absolutely. However, despite these potential challenges, Detroit's comeback story really offers some valuable lessons for other cities, especially as they're navigating this new era of remote work and evolving, urban needs.
Yeah, it's a real testament to the city's adaptability
Yes.
and vision, you know,
Yes.
demonstrating that a city can really reinvent itself and chart this new path towards prosperity.
Yeah, it's about understanding the forces at play and taking some calculated risks,
Right.
to shape a better future.
Exactly.
Detroit's story really highlights this crucial point.
Okay.
It's not just about attracting investment. It's about utilizing that investment strategically
Right.
to create a city that's both economically thriving and socially equitable.
It's about honoring the city's rich history while simultaneously, looking ahead to the future.
Yeah.
It's really a compelling model for other cities to consider.
It is.
Yeah.
And it raises a significant question for you, considering what we've discussed about Detroit's comeback story
Okay.
and the potential opportunities that it presents.
Mm-hmm.
What role could multifamily developers, owners, and property managers play in shaping the city's future?
Yeah, that's an important question for those in the multifamily industry.
Yeah.
This transformation is happening right now.
Right.
And they have the opportunity to be a part of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Detroit's story really reminds us that cities are these dynamic entities. They constantly evolve.
Right.
And those who understand the forces that are driving that evolution, they can contribute to shaping a positive trajectory.
Well said.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground today. But before we conclude, I want to emphasize one more vital aspect of Detroit's success.
Okay.
And that's their focus on fostering a vibrant and inclusive community.
That's a crucial point.
Yeah.
It's not just about, constructing buildings.
Well,
it's about the people who inhabit those spaces.
Right.
Yeah.
Detroit's leaders recognize that a city's true strength lies in its people.
Yeah.
And they've really prioritized creating a sense of community where everyone feels welcome and valued.
And that's reflected in their approach to development.
Right.
They're not just building these isolated luxury towers.
Right.
They're creating spaces that encourage interaction and connection among residents.
Like those community spaces that we discussed earlier.
Exactly.
The Monroe Street Midway
Yeah.
comes to mind as a great example.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And they're also investing in programs and initiatives
Yeah.
that provide support for residents from all walks of life.
Things like workforce development programs and affordable housing initiatives.
Right.
Yeah.
They're creating opportunities for everyone to participate in and benefit from Detroit's resurgence.
And that's what makes this story so inspiring.
Yeah.
It's not solely about economic growth.
Right.
It's about building a city that is both prosperous and equitable.
It's about creating a city where everyone has a chance to thrive.
And that's a goal worth pursuing,
Absolutely.
no matter where you are.
Detroit's story really serves as this beacon of hope for cities across the country and around the world.
It's a reminder that even when faced with adversity, we can come together and build something truly special.
And that's a message that we can all take to heart.
Well said.
Yeah.
I think that's a great point to wrap up our discussion for today.
Indeed. It's been a pleasure delving into Detroit's comeback story with you.
Likewise, I've learned so much, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for this remarkable city.
Yeah.
As we've seen, Detroit's success isn't just about having this grand vision.
Yeah.
It's about, the meticulous execution of that vision.
It's about the strategic planning, the targeted investments, and the dedication to creating this welcoming and supportive environment for everyone.
Yeah, all these elements have really contributed to turning Detroit's fortunes around.
Absolutely.
And as we discussed, adaptive reuse has been this key driver in this transformation.
For sure.
Turning those once vacant office buildings into these thriving residential and mixed-use spaces.
Yeah. And this trend goes beyond simply, creating more housing.
Right.
It's about revitalizing entire neighborhoods and bringing, new life and energy back into the urban core.
Yeah, it's about fostering those walkable mixed-use communities
Right.
that people are increasingly seeking out.
Yeah.
It's also about preserving Detroit's unique architectural heritage,
Mm-hmm.
adapting those historic structures for contemporary use.
It's a win-win situation benefiting both the city and its residents.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to circle back to that thought-provoking question you posed earlier.
You mean the one about the role that multifamily developer, owners, and property managers can play in Detroit's future?
Yes. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I believe there's a tremendous opportunity for those in the multifamily industry to contribute to Detroit's continued success
In what specific ways?
by embracing the principles of adaptive reuse,
Okay.
by developing properties that cater to the needs of a diverse population,
Mm-hmm.
and by creating communities that are both vibrant and inclusive.
Right. So it's about looking beyond just the bottom line and recognizing the vital role that multifamily housing can play in shaping a city's future.
It's about becoming a part of something larger than oneself.
Well said.
Yeah.
I think that's a powerful takeaway for anyone involved in real estate
Yeah.
or urban development in general.
For sure.
Well, on that note, I think that's a perfect place to end our conversation for today.
Yeah, it was my pleasure.
Thank you for joining us today for this insightful exploration of Detroit's remarkable comeback story.
It was great to be here.
And to our listeners, we encourage you to delve deeper into this fascinating urban transformation.
Yeah.
Detroit's story is a testament to the fact that cities are constantly evolving, and that with vision, determination, and collaboration, we can create a future where everyone has the opportunity to thrive.
That's it for this week's edition of the Market Rent Weekly Brief. To access more insights and resources, visit marketrent.us. Thank you for listening. To learn more about how Clarendon can help you achieve your real estate goals, please visit us online. We appreciate your trust in us as your go-to source for market intelligence. Our goal is to equip you with the critical insights and data necessary to make informed decisions. Until next time, stay informed and stay ahead.